When a child is born, it is not merely the arrival of a new life, it may be the sign of a monumental change that the universe has awaited for thousands of years. But did you know that behind those innocent eyes lies an ancient soul, a supernatural mission, and a secret that could alter the entire order of the world? Join us as we uncover the mysterious journey of this destined child. 1. The mysterious origin, sacred signs from birth. There are moments in human history when the universe seems to hold its breath, witnessing the arrival of a special soul into the world, and that moment was when this baby was born. Not every child shakes the world upon their arrival. But sometimes, among millions of new lives, there is one soul that makes the heavens bow, the wind pause, and a mysterious light flood the space with no known source. That baby is not just a small human beginning their life journey, but a return, a new chapter in the mystical laws of the cosmos. Only 31 days old, yet this child's presence vibrated through the deepest layers of the spirit realm and the Milky Way. From the very moment the baby let out their first cry, the air echoed with a sound that seemed ancient, not belonging to this world. The mother, having just endured labor, felt as though she hadn't merely given birth to a child, but had released an ancient soul from some sealed layer of time. In that moment, the delivery room was filled with a warm light, not from lamps, not from the sun, but from something sacred watching over. In a remote village, where old legends still whisper through the forest and mountain winds, the elders once spoke of a time when a child would be born during a cosmic shift, carrying the soul of an ancient sorcerer who once sacrificed himself to seal away dark forces. He would return when the world faces its greatest trial, and the sign would be a red moon hanging in the sky on the night of birth. This tale passed through generations but had faded into myth among the elders' memories. However, on the exact night the baby was born, the moon indeed turned a strange deep red. Not the red of blood or fire, but a crimson hue like a precious gem, shimmering with vibrant, breathing sparkles. Astronomers couldn't explain it. They examined all the data and every orbital study of the moon, but nothing made sense. Meanwhile, at an ancient temple, a monk who had remained in secluded meditation for 20 years suddenly opened his eyes after a deep trance, uttering just 3 words, "The child has arrived." No one understood why roosters crowed at midnight, or why dogs howled non-stop outside the house where the mother was in labor. The grandmother, holding her daughter's hand during the delivery, dreamed of a river of light with countless souls bowing as a central figure passed through. The dream was so vivid it brought her to tears upon waking. Elsewhere, mirrors cracked without reason, clocks stopped precisely at the moment of birth, and the father's phone failed to capture a single photo of the baby opening their eyes for the first time. It was no coincidence. Not chance. It was the resonance of an ancient energy sequence activated at the exact moment. The name given to the baby wasn't something the parents had thought of, it flowed unconsciously from the mother's lips immediately after birth, as if someone had borrowed her voice to announce an identity from millennia ago. From a spiritual perspective, there is a concept known as soul return, when a soul is strong enough not to dissipate after death, but instead hides in another realm, waiting for the right moment to return in a new form. This 31-day-old baby is believed to be one of those rare returning souls. It is said that placing a hand near the baby's heart reveals a heartbeat out of sync with normal human rhythm. This heartbeat echoes like a drum from another world, deeper, more resonant, with the cadence of ancient ceremonial rituals. A shaman living near a sacred mountain claimed to have dreamed of this child years earlier, in a vision so prolonged she thought she had died. In the dream, she saw a child sitting within a circle of white stones, surrounded by towering, abstract beings of light, like the souls of stars passing their power to the child. She awoke clutching a shimmering white stone of unknown origin. Yet the most striking supernatural sign did not come from dreams, it came from reality. On the day the baby was born, a species of bird never before seen in the region suddenly flew in flocks across the sky, their wings shimmering with a mystical emerald hue, their songs resonating inside people's minds, unable to be recorded. For the first 3 days, the baby never cried, not once, but stared wide-eyed, observing everything as if recognizing an old, familiar world. An amateur cosmic researcher discovered something unusual. At the exact time of the child's birth, 5 planets, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn, aligned in a straight line. A cosmic phenomenon so rare it only happens once every 176 years. Simultaneously, a strange radio signal was detected from the edge of the galaxy, lasting precisely 31 seconds. Scientists are still debating whether it was an accidental signal from an alien civilization or an unexplainable echo from a black hole. The question remains, was this mere coincidence, or a deliberate orchestration by the universe? An old Egyptian priest, upon hearing the story, silently bowed his head. He opened a wooden chest, revealing an ancient stone carving depicting a newborn child seated in the heart of the universe, surrounded by constellations and a radiant halo. Beneath it was an inscription in an ancient language, translated as, "He shall return, in the form of an infant, bearing the essence of all souls and the call of the cosmos." The birth of this child is not a standalone event, but the beginning of a chain of changes waiting to unfold. Strange phenomena continue to increase around where the baby lives. Even those who never believed in the supernatural have started experiencing odd events in the child's presence, whispers in their minds, glimpses of familiar figures in mirrors, and an eerie presence in their dreams. Perhaps this child is not merely the reincarnation of an ancient being, but the key to opening gateways between dimensions. In silence, the world watches. Ancient forces that never disappeared, only slumbered, are now awakening, little by little. The 31-day-old child is not just a baby, but living proof that the line between humanity and the cosmos, between reality and myth, has never been as clear-cut as we thought. The child is a new chapter in time. A reminder that not all power comes from might and weapons. Some powers lie in innocence, in pure gazes, yet hold within them the soul of a giant who once changed the course of history. And the first chapter of that story is the mysterious origin of a child before whom the universe bows. 2. Hidden power, a supernatural being in the form of a child. Some children are not merely newly born beings, but incarnations of ancient powers, carrying within them the potential to alter the entire universe. Divine aura, a sign of an ancient soul. From the very first moment, this child radiated a strange aura, making those nearby feel the presence of an ancient soul. Their eyes shone brightly, as if containing an entire starry sky, evoking both peace and reverence in anyone who met their gaze. Special markings appeared on the child's body, a star-shaped birthmark on the forehead, mysterious patterns on the skin, like ancient symbols yet to be deciphered. People believe that these markings are no coincidence but evidence of the reincarnation of a soul that existed thousands of years ago. Perhaps it was a god, a sorcerer, or a legendary hero, now returned in the form of a child, carrying an unfinished mission. Spiritual sensitivity, communication with the invisible world. Though only 31 days old, the child already demonstrated the ability to perceive things beyond ordinary human senses. They often stared into empty space, as if communicating with an unseen entity. Sometimes, they would giggle when no one was nearby, sending chills down the spines of adults, who could sense the presence of some spirit. Family members said that whenever the child cried, the room's atmosphere grew heavy, as though a powerful energy had arrived. In contrast, when the child laughed, the entire space brightened, radiating peace and warmth. These phenomena led many to believe that the child has a connection to the spiritual realm. A bridge between the physical world and the invisible one. Environmental influence, supernatural power. Beyond their spiritual perception, the child also began to affect the surrounding environment. Once, when the child cried, all the candles in the room suddenly extinguished, even though there was no wind. When the child laughed, the leaves outside the window trembled, as if dancing with joy. Adults in the household shared that whenever they held the child, they felt a strong current of energy passing through them, equal parts fear and exhilaration. Some even said that being near the child brought strange dreams, visions of otherworldly places, mysterious beings, and scenes never before witnessed. Ancient cosmic energy, the will of the universe. Astrologers and mystics who came into contact with the child sensed a powerful energy not of this world. They believed that the child harbored a remnant of an ancient cosmic energy. The very will of the universe, the primordial force from the dawn of creation. This energy not only grants the child supernatural abilities but also commands the attention of the cosmos itself. Strange celestial events began aligning with key moments in the child's life: solar eclipses, lunar eclipses, or rare planetary alignments, each serving as a reminder that this child is the chosen one, destined by the universe to fulfill a great mission. The awakening of power, a supernatural being. As the child grew each day, their hidden power gradually awakened. Supernatural phenomena occurred more frequently and more intensely. The child could move objects with a glance, bend plants to their will, and even influence the emotions of those around them. People came to believe that this was no ordinary child, but a supernatural being, the embodiment of a cosmic force that had long slumbered, now beginning to stir in preparation for a mission to change the world. The child's presence is proof of the miraculous, a beacon of hope for a future both radiant and mysterious. The child and the fated journey. The birth of this child is not just an ordinary event, it marks the beginning of a destined journey. Within them lies hidden power, a supernatural essence in the form of a child, the embodiment of an ancient soul, the bridge between the visible and invisible worlds, the nexus of all dimensions. The child's journey has only just begun, but the signs are clear: they will be the one to transform the world, ushering in a new era, where humanity connects with the universe, unlocks long-lost mysteries, and lives in harmony with the spiritual, the supernatural, and the cosmic. 3. Destiny's mission, the child and the role of changing the world. There are souls not born to live, but to awaken, and when they take the form of a child, the entire world is compelled to change. The world moves incessantly, yet occasionally, amidst the unceasing flow of time, there comes a moment when everything halts, as if awaiting a signal. When that child reached exactly 31 days old, space seemed to contract, time appeared to slow, and the invisible links between heaven, earth, and ancient souls began to reactivate. No one knows precisely who the child is or where they came from, but one thing is certain: their presence is no coincidence. They came not to assimilate, but to transform. Not merely to exist, but to rewrite destiny. Within the treasures of ancient civilizations, from the stone carvings of the Sumerians, the mysterious scrolls of the Gobi Desert, to the light-drawn inscriptions in the sacred Andes temples, there exists a prophecy never fully deciphered. All speak of an entity born during a time when the world is engulfed in chaos and imbalance across all facets of existence. This entity bears the mission to alter the course, not just of humanity, but of all reality. No one anticipated that this entity would take the form of a child, small, fragile, seemingly harmless. Yet, none could perceive what lay within, where soft skin merely cloaked a power never before embodied in human form. In the early days of the child's life, those with special abilities began to sense unusual vibrations. A shamaness, secluded in the northern forests for 30 years of deep meditation, suddenly left her hermitage to visit the village where the child resided. She spoke not a word, merely bowed before the child, then departed with eyes filled with profound reverence. On a high plateau where stars shine brighter than anywhere else, an astrologer, after decades of study, recorded a strange celestial vortex precisely as the child turned 31 days old. Not just planetary movements, but a subtle reversal in the energy flow among constellations. All measurement devices malfunctioned, future forecasts became erratic, as if the order of time had been bent by a newly emerged point of reference. Soon after, many enigmatic individuals began to arrive. They had no connections, shared no information, yet all came from distant places, drawn by a deep sound inaudible to ordinary ears. They were guardians of ancient energies, shamans, gatekeepers, descendants of nearly extinct sacred lineages. All concurred on one point: this child is the gateway, the final key linking this world to other dimensions. One night, under a full moon and a sky veiled in mystical purple mist, a strange phenomenon occurred. all village clocks stopped simultaneously, lights flickered off and then on, emitting an unreplicable blue glow. At that moment, the child neither cried nor laughed, merely stared into a point in space. Witnesses recounted feeling as though they stood at the edge of another universe, observing themselves in an entirely different version of reality. From a spiritual perspective, this child is not merely a messenger. They are the embodiment of prophecy, the culmination of generations of souls who failed to maintain the balance between light and darkness. Now, all that remains is concentrated in a single being, and this child will determine whether the world is to be purified, reborn, or destroyed. The prophecy mentions 3 trials the child will face before maturity: the trial of choice, the trial of solitude, and the trial of confrontation. These challenges occur not only in the physical world but also within the mind, dreams, and the deepest layers of the child's soul. Ordinary people cannot perceive them, but those who can see beyond this plane affirm witnessing surrounding darkness unable to touch the child. Something is protecting them. Perhaps the universe itself, or beings transformed into light after departing this world. In esoteric circles, there's a concept called the non-time-space intersection, where dimensions overlap, time loses its linearity, and willpower can alter the laws of existence. This child is the center of that intersection. They possess the ability to bend fate, connecting ancestral memories with an unformed future. No one can dictate the path, not even the child. But ancient energies are watching and will intervene if the path deviates. A young Tibetan monk recounted that during deep meditation, he saw a human-shaped flame walking through a dark desert, leaving no footprints, yet life began to bloom where it passed. The figure stopped before a child and handed them a key made of light. Upon awakening, he painted this vision in a meditative style, and astonishingly, the painting resembled one unearthed from an ancient African temple, half a world away. Nothing is coincidental. The child's growth will be unlike any other. The world not only watches but transforms daily with the child's development. Plants around the child seem greener, animals gather with eyes full of affection yet caution, and other children exhibit strange behaviors upon contact, as if recognizing this distinct being influencing their nascent consciousness. Many ancient cultures believe that when an old era ends, a being emerges to shape the structure of the new world. This is not merely symbolic, it's reality. This child is born not just for one world but is the convergence of all worlds, the anchor among consciousness levels humanity has never touched. If the prophecies are accurate, then on the child's 333rd day, a cosmic event will occur, perhaps a nearby supernova, an unprecedented solar storm, or the sudden disappearance of a star cluster. At that moment, spatial gates will open, and the child will be at the center of this vortex. No one knows whether the child will choose purification or destruction, as the decision doesn't rest solely with them. This world, every living soul, every vibration from each action and thought, contributes to the final decision. It's a fair mission, where all humanity shares responsibility for a child's choice. But one thing is certain: the child did not come to live in silence, nor to become a symbol. They are the flow, the source, the force propelling the world out of its old orbit. What was once known will be shattered. What were once limits will be redefined. As the child walks among us, every soul will feel it. When they laugh, hope will rise in the darkness. When they cry, secrets will be unveiled. And when they are silent, the universe will quietly adjust its rhythm to align with the awakening essence. Thank you for watching this video until the very end. Could this child truly carry the mission to change the fate of the world? Or is it all simply a part of the universe's grand flow? We would love to hear your thoughts, opinions, and questions about this story. Leave a comment below so we can discuss and uncover even more hidden secrets together. Don't forget to subscribe to Forbidden Knowledge and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming fascinating videos. See you in the next mysterious explorations, where the boundaries of knowledge will be blurred. Wishing you a day full of unexpected truths.